I go from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. There was one project that was about reproductive rights and crossing the Texas state line because somebody had to get an abortion.
This woman is literally like a supervillain. She is everywhere.
Okay, so my name is Karla Reyes. My pronouns are she, her. My presentation is not packaged as beautifully as Teddy's, but that's okay because this is my talk and this is Soapbox and it's free form, so it's going to be unstructured. And
So you're at this presentation and you decided that you didn't have to structure your presentation nicely because reasons.
Yeah.
I'm just going to share a little bit about my learnings and hopefully you feel seen, you feel heard, or it sparks some kind of inspiration or hope or questions or challenges.
Excuse me, hi, member of the audience. What exactly is your presentation about?
I don't know yet.
All she just said was, hopefully it inspires you, whatever. Can you give us a little explanation about what your presentation is about? No. Here's my pronouns, though. You didn't ask for them, but here they are.
Also, hi, Wings!
We know you're watching.
Challenges, whatever it is, we're here to feel. Just a bit about my background first. So I started in AAA. I was at Square Enix and Niantic as a designer. And I always was excited about video games having the immense opportunity to drive cultural change. I believe like entertainment shapes culture. And since video games are the largest entertainment medium in the world, I feel we really have this responsibility to, educate potentially or inspire.
How about you have a responsibility to make a good video game? It's like, no. We have the biggest medium here. We need to use it to educate you and inspire people, which is fine. You can do that. But how about making a good game first? No?
Just shift hearts and minds in general. So I've always tried to align myself with organizations that are values aligned. So I've done a lot of advocacy work in the industry as well. If you're familiar with organizations, Code Coven and Wings.
Boo! Hiss! Boo! Wings! Boo! Tomato.
How dare Code Coven appropriate from Wicca?
Game developers, and I found myself encountering barriers, like many of us I'm sure have.
You want to tell you something really cool. If you're encountering barriers trying to push social propaganda into your video games, then maybe you should have, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Made video games first, like good video games.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? But they don't know how to do that.
Guys, I'm trying to fit this square peg in a round hole, and it wasn't made to go here, but I need it to fit here.
Throughout our experiences in game dev, but particularly within larger organizations, maybe more monolithic bureaucratic practices. And that was why I ultimately decided to pursue the indie dream or nightmare, or both, right, the fun of it, and start my own little studio, which is called Anima Interactive. And we focus on socially conscious storytelling. I'm going to take a moment to shamelessly plug our project because, again, this is my talk. And I think, I'm not a market.
This is my talk at your event. I'm going to plug my game because of me.
Here, and truthfully, I think a lot of indie devs don't take that much time to externalize their work that much. I've observed that a lot, and so I do want to take a moment to talk about this project. We are currently developing a game that is about the journey of migrants and asylum seekers on their way to cross the U.S.-Mexico border. So obviously a very heavy-hitting topic, but the way that we're doing it is, obviously trying to foster empathy and raise awareness about the nuance and complexity behind migration across the U.S.-Mexico border. It's something that's deeply personal to myself and many of our team members. And this can be a whole other talk in itself, but, it's very grounded in reality.
You said this will be a whole other talk in itself. Honey, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What is this talk meant to be about?
I actually don't know. I really don't know. All I'm hearing is a bunch of words. I don't know what I'm doing. Words, blah, blah, blah.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of that last one we did where Sweet Baby Ink steals from books.
Or something similar, or any of the other GDC panels that we've covered.
These people, I don't even know what your talk is. You denounced yourself and said, I like activism. That's what so far I've heard.
Again, we are conducting extensive interviews with migrants with lived experience, and it's really more than a game. I think we're trying to weave together a community, and we are collaborating with other studios. So it was awesome that Teddy was talking about the power of collective and small independent studios. That's something that we've been experimenting with in our studio as well. We've collaborated with smaller teams. Subliminal Games, if you're familiar, they made an awesome game called Button City. They're making Button City Soccer Days.
Wings alert, wings alert. Button City by Subliminal Games was a Wings-funded game.
Oh, really?
What a small world. By the way, Button City has blocked me on Twitter because... no, can't have the big mean master of the GDS coming in and looking at our stuff. Hate to break it to you, blocking me on Twitter doesn't do anything anymore because I can still see your posts. It's no longer blocked. And you just let me know that I'm looking at you. So thanks.
Shout out to them. Shout out to 512 Studios who are here in the room, who came all the way from Guatemala. They've been awesome collaborators as well. That's also part of my values. Having done a lot of advocacy work, is trying to amplify new voices, empower game developers in countries where there aren't, as many opportunities or access to industry infrastructure, and just see how we can all uplift each other. I know community is a big through line here, so you'll hear me talk about it more.
All we've been hearing you do
values-driven development. Whatever your values are, whether it's mental health, equitable pay, diverse hiring, this is something that I've realized is both empowering and exhausting, right?
Hi, again, audience member here. What does this have to do with video games?
I don't know, but buzzword.
To constantly adhere to them, and you have to question yourself and challenge. So as an example, I just mentioned that I value mentoring and training maybe less experienced developers from underrepresented backgrounds. That can be very costly and challenging at times, but it's also very rewarding.
So what you just said was hiring people from diverse backgrounds can be very expensive and very hard, but it's also rewarding. But then you also get mad that people aren't doing it. Maybe it's because their games don't have a budget for it, and maybe because also they want to hire the best people for the job, not to say, look, we're diverse and inclusive. By the way, our game's like a Flash animation.
And so it means that I have to sometimes accept imperfection as well, just like this talk. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Japanese kind of philosophy of wabi-sabi, but there's beauty in imperfection, and it's okay to be messy. And I think that's something that we as indies can do. We can experiment, we can explore, and I want to lean into that. Okay, so the burnout cycle. This is something that I think all of us perhaps might have experienced at one time or another. This is game development. There's this I go from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence.
Let me rephrase. Let me say that again. She goes from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. I want to replay that for you so you can hear her say it again.
I go from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's consciously incompetent, and then when she's not conscious, she does better.
It makes no sense. Honey, please, you're a therapist. You know the mind. Make it make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. How are you? So let me see let me try to translate it. Okay. If you are being consciously incompetent, that means you're being bad on purpose.
Yeah, it means you know you're incompetent.
And so you're saying when you don't use your brain, you're more competent. You know what? I actually can understand that. In this case, it makes sense. Clearly your brain isn't helping you.
Yeah, I guess so. Then again, she'd have to have one first.
That's kind of like the cycle that one goes through, because when I first founded the studio and started, indie game development, I truly didn't really know how to structure things. And it's been a wild ride for sure. The tiers are actually, they represent tears of joy and tears of despair, because honestly, there's a lot of love, especially with what we're building right now. It really is a labor of love. And there's been a lot of passion and emotion. And I think with burnout, it can be through choice or circumstance, right? I think because we're so passion fueled, we can invest all of our time and energy in the project, in what we're building. And then there's the circumstance, which is we are burning ourselves out due to the need to survive, right? And the money and the lack thereof. And it's inevitable, and you know, I'm sure this is a common through line as well, but we really need to take care of ourselves, support each other. You know, I'm reinforcing Teddy's point about community. Lacey also mentioned community, and I think that I'm a solo founder, and it's been really instrumental to have mentors and advisors, and I've been very shameless about asking people for support. And
I hate to break it to you, the people who have helped you have done nothing for you.
And I'm not surprised that you're shameless. You clearly don't have any shame.
I think that's okay because, you know, I think paying back and paying forward is important, and I will try to do the same, right? You are not alone, as we mentioned earlier, and I think, you know, we need to learn from the people who have gone before us and continue to have these conversations.
Okay, can you explain to me what this conversation is supposed to be about?
Can you explain how it has anything to do with video games at a video game conference?
I love they hire these people. This is at the GDC. Do you guys just go, okay, here we're going to go. Let's have a meeting. Do we hire competent game devs to give talks, or do we find an intern who takes their coffee and have them do the talk?
Okay, so yeah, everything is on fire right now. Not just the games industry, we know with mass layoffs, obviously, and how unsustainable things are, but the world.
This is a professional presentation at the GDC.
And she's using the Elmo burning meme.
This is literally a professional presentation. What are you guys doing? Who are you hiring?
Right? There is a lot of shit going on, and we need to support each other. You know, I think chaos is a ladder, and so it's really an opportune time for we as indies to explore what challenge the status quo and ask ourselves, like, can we do to start a new movement within game development? What are the different models or structures that we can consider, right?
So you don't actually make video games. You are literally saying that, oh, let's take advantage of the chaos going on and use it to push ourselves up so we can push our propaganda into other games. That's what you're telling me. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm listening to what she's saying. This is literally what she's doing.
At least you're listening.
You know, these are great that Lacey and Teddy have already mentioned these. I can tell you a little bit about what we've done at our studio. So we really believe in game jams, and you know, game jams being a space and forum for people to experiment. And so we hosted a game jam last year, which was focused on justice. So the prompt was really just to explore creating interactive media, thinking about different lenses of justice, and the games that came out of it and the community that arose from it was really beautiful, and it was completely built from scratch. We had 100 developers from 20 countries participate. There was one project that was about reproductive rights and crossing the Texas state line because somebody had to get an abortion. There was a team from Palestine.
You heard what she just said. They made a video game that is about reproductive rights where you cross the Texas border to get an abortion. And the game is over there. It's called Crossing Lines, okay? It exists. It is available right now on itch.io. And here's what it says. Weave through traffic in this narrative driving experience. Your teenage sister shows up at your college dorm in a panic. She needs help. But because of the state's strict abortion ban, she doesn't know where to go or what to do. After managing to secure an appointment in Colorado, you pile into your mother's old station wagon, hoping to make it there on time. As you attempt the long, intimidating journey, the story of the sisters and their bond unfolds. Let's put aside the political aspect for a minute, okay? I know people have a lot of opinions about this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Please explain to me how in the world you are going to make a video game about crossing the Texas border to get an abortion and make it a game that anybody would find interesting.
I don't know, but it is real.
I literally have no words. Again, I know people have a lot of opinions about the politics side of this, and we're not going to get into that too much because I'm not trying to get overly political.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at the fact that literally there is no game that you can make out of this premise that would be a video game. This is not a video game.
Honestly, it's not even a visual novel.
Palestine, trying to talk about the peaceful and cultural values of Palestine, and during a very, time when this geopolitical topic was very relevant. I think this is kind of a manifestation of what indie development can be, and
yeah, this is a manifestation of what indie development can be. Making a game about crossing into the Texas state line to get an abortion. Yes, that's what video games can be. Guys, are you not sold on this? Do you not want to support all this? You're going to play a video game where you drive across the border to get your sister an abortion.
Sounds like fun. Not.
That's the game.
Don't you want to play?
Another thing that I think is important is that because video games are the largest entertainment medium in the world, there are a lot of eyes on games, right? Outside of...
Yes, and that's why there are a lot of eyes on you. And when we put eyes on you, you mysteriously disappeared, deleted everything. But wait, if you're saying this is how amazing game devs could be and all this kind of stuff, then what are you hiding from?
Indeed.
Traditional games investors, and I think we should try to explore and think outside the box. So as an example, I've encountered a lot of organizations within the broader film and television space that are now wanting to invest in games. In our case, because we're more impact-oriented nonprofits and different foundations, but there are alternative sources for funding that we should be exploring.
Like Wings Interactive, like the UN, like government grants.
And there's a lot to be said about potentially investing in game jam prototypes too, right? This is a great way to just experiment and rapid prototype. And one of the sponsors of this game jam actually ended up investing in further developing one of the prototypes that came out of the jam. So,
yep, and there you have it, guys. One of the people involved in this game jam came out and invested in one of the games there.
And do you know who it was and which game it was?
No, I do not. But the point, because they're being careful not to say anything, but put it this way, guys. You wonder how these people find each other? She just gave it to us. They make these game jams for socially diverse whatever, and there are companies that Sweet Baby Inc. are involved with, or other Wings or whatever, that fund this stuff, and they all find each other, and then someone goes, you made a game that's social justice? We'll pay money for it.
It's just one approach, and I think it's worth talking about. So I will leave you all with a dose of hope, just reminding you about the project and everything.
A dose of hope? I'm sorry. I hope you never, ever make a game again. We are going to play the trailer for this event, this Justice Jam, and you'll see a familiar face.
Uh-huh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
That right there is Evan Narcisse of Brass Lion Entertainment. You know,
dun, dun.
The Wu-Tang Clan game that's coming out with Sweet Baby Inc. involvement. You know that one? He's the guy who made it. Isn't it weird how he just happens to be here?
Sitting next to Karla.
It's all a coincidence, guys. There's not... What are you talking about? What are you saying? You're saying you're seeing a post from Karla on the screen, and it's highlighted where it shows that Kim Belair is one of the people involved? Oops. I will take something that the Proctor file said. This woman is literally like a supervillain. She is everywhere. Again, this is Karla Reyes, the person in charge. And if you see on the right, you could see there, right there, Kim Belair. Right there.
Right there in the credits.
There. So in other words, these people who are making these games are all connected. And it's not just because they're friends. Literally, Kim Belair sings massive thanks to everyone who has supported or contributed to this project as a fellow organizer, community partner, or juror. Not friend. It is a organizer, community partner, or juror. There is no friends here. So this is literally Kim Belair being in cahoots with this.
Well done, my love.
Like the video break, the algorithm style, share with your of humor as a cure.